I just have to say, my kids are the best thing that happened to me. Yeah.
What's good? What's good? So, on my podcast tonight, I got one of my frat brothers. I was harassing him for a good while, trying to get him on here, and I finally got him. I finally slowed it down. Finally caught up to him. Shout out to my frat Jason. What's
Yo,
good,
yo,
frat? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. Yo, it's a pleasure to be on. I've been watching you do your thing for a little while, so it's such a dope platform, man.
Thank you, thank you. I definitely appreciate that. I know you only seen like one episode, but I appreciate that anyway.
I seen like two good
Okay,
ones.
okay, all right, you got it.
Yeah, you had your LB, the last one. That was a really great one, man. Talking about divorce, that was dope. I can't remember the first one I saw, but that's what really caught my eye, though.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. I think yeah, we all got our different stories, and so
Yeah,
I think it just shows that we ain't the only one. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
And we were just talking about like divorce and married again. So obviously we ain't the only ones.
We're the only ones doing it.
So it is what it is. So I
You know.
take it from the top. I get right into it. How was it growing up with your father coming up?
So my biological father, he wasn't really around.
Okay.
Like a lot of us, man, our parents split up early on, you know what I'm saying? And in his era, the 60s, 70s, 80s, man, it was pretty rough for those dudes. So he had
Hmm.
substance abuse problems.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? You combine that with breaking up from your woman, and sometimes the
That's a lot.
kids kind of fall victims. So we weren't really close for a long time. We cool now as adults, you know what I mean? But as a kid, I didn't really. He tried, but with substance abuse, it's hit or miss. It's
Yeah.
hit or miss. But my
Okay.
mom, she remarried when I was a teenager, so I had a really good stepdad in my teenage years, which kind of it showed me how I wanted to be as a father.
Okay. Pointed you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Now, just thinking back. Now I
Hmm.
know in the frat they had gave you the name Legacy. Is that from your step pops or your pop?
That's from my pops. That's
Oh,
from
okay, okay.
yeah. So
I bet you
you
ain't
know
think I remember that, did you?
yeah. So he gave me that, man. He gave me that. That was always in the back of my mind. So I do, give him credit for that. And he tried his best
Mm-hmm.
and to stay connected to the family and keep me involved as much as he could. But because there was, there's a bond that a father and child should have, especially as men.
Yeah,
So we didn't really have that. We really didn't have that.
got you. And but your step pops, I guess
Yeah, he,
pray
he
praise
picked up the
God for
slack
him.
and kind of showed me, how I should be as a young man. So
Yeah, was he strict on you, step
nah,
pops?
Mom's was the strictest, man.
Ma-
I don't know. We always get,
Marvin?
Mom's ran the ship, man. She still runs the ship.
Yeah,
Uh,
I ain't gonna lie. I mean, mom's kind of run the ship here, kind of, somewhat, sort of.
that's how it goes. And they should, you know what I mean? My stepdad was more of a politician, so he took a different stance. So when Moms was punishing me, he would come behind it and talk with me and explain to me where I went wrong, what I should have did. And he gave me that type of guidance.
Got you.
Yeah.
All right, that's what's up. Um, now, just fast forward a little bit.
Mhm.
Now you're a father. How old is your son now? Every time I see a picture of you and him, it's like you were here, then
Yeah.
this one, and like,
Listen, man, it's
gradually.
crazy. He is 17 now. You know what I'm saying? He's
Oh
17.
shit. Okay,
Crazy. Yeah. So
crazy.
he's taller than me. Plays ball. Um, so he's turning out all right. We looking at colleges. So he's doing all of that now.
Oh man, good for you. Congrats on that as well. I also want to give you props also for hitting the jackpot because dude looked just like you. I'm like,
Yo,
yo, this dude, no disrespect. I'm like, this kid don't even have a mother. Jay just pushed him
yo,
out.
we ready. We ready. And yo, you know what? He wants to pledge. He wants to follow him in a lot of my footsteps.
Wow, that's great.
So that always feels good as a dad.
Yeah, yeah, no question. And that was a question I was gonna have for you too. Was how does he feel? Is he familiar with the frat and Greek life and
Yeah,
that's
I
what's
brought
up.
him on early on to different college campuses. I really wanted to take a different approach with him because he, um, I divorced his mom when he was 6.
Okay.
So we was together up until he was about 6, and then from there, You know, I always said I'm gonna stay in his life as a constant. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm gonna be overly involved. I'm gonna try really hard to have a great relationship with his mom, even though we were separated. And I really wanted to make sure that we kept that bond that I really didn't have early on.
Yeah,
So I
no
make sure
question.
we established that and kept it throughout the years.
Yeah, I said the same thing. Same thing.
Yep.
Pops was really there, and I just said, you know what, El, regardless of what happens between me and her, I'm gonna do what I
Right.
gotta do my best to make sure we keep, have a bond.
So you
And how are you and his mom's?
so you know,
Cool, super cool.
early on, it's always rough early on, you
Of
know what I
course.
mean? I was thankful that I was in the military, so it kind of took me outside of her
Okay.
environment. It's something I think sometimes it's harder when you both live in the same area, in the same state, same city, or whatever. But I had ended up moving away from her, and we lived separate lives. So you know, it was rough at first because everybody wants to be the super parent, you
True.
know.
True.
And you don't see eye to eye on a lot of parenting things, but once I got established in my relationship and calmed down and got myself together, and she did the same. She's remarried now. I'm cool. I'm
Okay.
cool with her husband. Like
Oh,
it's
okay.
weird now, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But
Hey.
yeah, life is crazy like that, man. But it's dope that everybody kind of grew up and did what's best for the child. So we have a good relationship now. She even buying stuff for my new wife
Oh,
for the
that's what's up. That's great to hear, man. Because we don't really need a drama. Like it's like, yo, we was really meant to be together, and now we
right.
grown, understand that. Go our separate ways to probably make better friends.
That's right, man. We try. We try.
Yeah, and it's so funny because when you think back to when we were younger, like when we first met when we was younger, it's like, that ain't gonna be me. Ain't no way, man.
But I was in our age, you know, I was a womanizer back in the early '90s, man. I didn't think I'd ever get married. You know what I mean?
Oh
So
yeah, yeah, oh yeah, you play.
you
Everybody knew
you
Jason.
watch it, you know what I'm saying? If I stole your girl in the '90s, I'm sorry. We all grown now.
keep, keep
But
it a
I'm not.
hundred. Talk
Yeah,
your shit. Keep it a hundred.
and I was really wilding back then. So for me to grow into a dad and a husband, I think you know that's so dope. And to see my peers grow into
Yeah.
dads and husbands, I mean that's fantastic. Bro.
Nah, word, definitely. It just seems like the whole circle just kind of, even though we kind of went different directions or whatever, we all pretty much grew up same
Right,
destination, married, kids, whatever it may be. Take care of the kids, families, and because for people don't know, and like people listen also, when I was already in the frat when I met Jason, and every time we saw each other, we was just partying. That's all it was, chasing
everyone.
chicks and partying. So that was our introduction. And it's so funny too. I know I told you this before. When I met you, of course, I thought we pledged the same year because you and my LB Paul was always together. So I just assumed you was Spring '95 too. And I almost assumed that you was Paul's LB because I'm like, damn, I always see him with my
Listen,
LB.
almost my man, 50 grand. We would go everywhere
I
together,
know.
all the frat stuff together, party together. And it's so dope to see the direction that he went in and see him as an adult and see him as a dad. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, because he's a wild boy too.
yeah, he was. You got to remind him sometimes that he was a wild boy. You
Yeah,
got
yeah.
to.
You know what happens when you come past it? Sometimes you forget you was a wild boy. It's okay though. You're only human. Like I don't I'm not even like politicians pass it. Like if you
Right.
front like you had this perfect life, I'd be like, I don't believe in you.
I got the receipts.
Yeah, exactly. You're only human. I respect that. But moving on to having your own son. Um, when you and his mom split up, he was about 6. Did you notice any like changes with him, or it
Yeah, you know, like I
disturb
think
him?
a lot of divorced kids, there's some trauma
He's
involved, you
always,
know,
yeah,
and it still lasts up until now. He's 17, but
really.
you know, when we talk about the past, he gets choked up. You know,
Wow,
he still wants his family together. He still yearns for that. So there's
wow,
definitely
okay.
some trauma, yeah, that happens with kids, especially when I raised him to be very compassionate and very loving. So those emotions are still raw for him. You know what I mean? He still tears up when we talk about
Really?
it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm glad that I'm able to be in his life so that we can talk through those feelings
Mm-hmm.
and show him that he's still loved and he still turned out okay. He still has great parents and step parents in his life. So yeah.
And I know you're not a therapist, but like in your opinion, like as far as kids, I guess for anybody else too, like when there's a break between parents, I mean, is there like honestly, is there any way to kind of keep them from, I guess, like you said, being traumatic to them, or
Yeah,
you know?
what worked for us was that we didn't ignore it. We did two things. We didn't ignore it. We talked about the difference, how his house was going to be split, and we acknowledged the split. Some people just try to ignore it and keep
Yeah,
going. And we didn't fight in front of him. So any early turbulence me and her had, any fights that we had, we kept it away from him, so that he wouldn't have to pick and choose or feel bad
yeah,
about
take a
barking on
side.
his mom, or if she was calling me names. We didn't really do that in front of him. So I think that helped him. We were very loving in front of him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm just kind of surprised that he still feels it, but you just like never know. But at least you're aware that he
Mhm.
brings it up and let you know, because you just be going on with life thinking everything's all good and not
Yeah.
knowing he still
As,
feels that way.
as a young man, I had to sit him down. Like, I think it was this summer or the summer before. He asked, like, "Yo, like, why did y'all break up?" And I didn't want to just glaze over and give him the, "Oh, people sometimes it don't work out." Like, what I mean? I went into detail without bashing her, and I
No
took credit
question.
that I did wrong. And I told him, "Here, this is where I messed up. This is where I feel she messed up, and then this is where we at." So keep it 100 with him. I think that always works best.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's good shit though. That's great parenting, and like I said, I'm glad.
It works for me. It works for
Yeah,
me.
yeah, communication is important. But yeah, I try. Well, my son's only 6, but I
Right,
try to definitely again communicate with him. Um, he's more communicative with his mother though, so
right.
I'm just guessing maybe around that pivotal age 12, 13, then
Yeah.
he'll, Dad,
Yeah,
this what
yeah,
happened. You know what I mean?
exactly.
We'll
As long
we'll
as,
see.
as long as you're loving and open, what I mean, they'll always come around and ask the question. Sometimes we as dads, we just try to be the disciplinary type, so
Yeah,
we tough, and that makes us closed off to open communication. But try not to be too tough with them. I was tough, but not too tough. I followed it up with love.
yeah. I definitely try to do the same, because
Yeah,
I just I don't know. I feel like I can't like his mother majority of the time she gonna say yes. So of
right.
course I gotta be like no. This is GP. And don't get me wrong, he's a good kid, but GP, I just gotta be like no.
Listen, and my son looked just like me, so you spank him. I felt like I'm spanking myself, man. I couldn't jack him up too much. It's like I'm
I feel
beating
you.
myself. You
And
know what
that's
I mean?
crazy. Yeah. And that's the thing too. Like I never spanked him, didn't have to, whatever, but when he's a baby, just kind of pat him on the pamper just so he could get the idea. But yeah, that was a crazy like just as a baby. And I want to say no, or he make me mad, but yo, when you look down and the person looking back at you look just like you, it
All right.
messes you up.
This is good. You just
All,
milk.
all your defenses just go down.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah, man. So and uh so your upcoming new edition,
Yeah.
that album you about to drop, that bun you got in the oven. Do you know the gender yet?
Yeah, it's a baby boy. It's a
Okay,
baby
okay.
boy. I get to do it again with another baby boy.
You know what you was doing. You know if you put the right leg up, you're gonna get a boy.
I'm saying I knew the recipe. She ain't know. I tried to tell her.
Is she want a girl?
Yeah, she was just happy just for whatever.
Yeah. As long as
Yeah,
they healthy. I dig
yeah.
it.
As long as he's healthy, that's it. So he'll be dropping, that album be dropping in about another week or two. So we just
Oh,
wait.
oh, snap. Okay, okay. Why? You ready? I mean, because it's been a while.
It's
You got a pretty good gap.
not a good guy.
You like, do you remember the skills, the talents it takes to be in the room?
Think so, man. I think, but I can't lie, bro. I'm really scared.
You
Really,
nervous? Scared
yeah,
is like nervous.
I'm really nervous, and it's because I'm older, So I'm an older dad. I just turned 47, so trying to do it over at 47 is a lot of pressure and fears,
Yeah.
um, things that I didn't have, when you're in your early 20s, 30s, whatever, having kids. So it's a little more pressure. I did great the first time, so I'm hoping I could drop another classic and do well another time. You know.
No doubt, no doubt. I definitely will. I got faith in you. I mean, you're an old new daddy. That's what I told Don. I was like, oh man, I can't wait to get Jason on. We gotta talk about this. Cause me and Don felt like old new daddies, you know what I'm saying? Y'all having kids in their 40s. I was like,
Nah,
yo, Jason trying to push the limit, huh?
listen. I just think the biggest fear is that you just want to be there. You know what I mean? Like I have no
Uh,
fear of all the stuff of the Pampers and the crying and stuff, but you start doing the math, like, all right, when he's 21, I'm gonna be
yeah,
whatever. You know,
yeah,
I just want to be blessed with long life to be able to see him live and have those conversations with adults.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, same here, Frat. Same here. Cause I, like you said, doing the math, I'm like, I'll be like damn near 59 or something when he go to college, and
right.
I don't want to be the old man struggling with his trunk. But they don't do trunks no more. My bad. I want to be able to carry his bags. You know what I mean? Like, yo,
I
where should
got
I
this.
put these bags? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So
But I'm
I feel
glad
you.
on the other end, you know, I'm more stable now and
Mm-hmm.
financially stable, so I don't have those fears as a young man.
Of course. Because how old were you with your first son?
Oh man, I can't do public
Mm.
math. Don't give me the line, but you know, 30s. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yes, yes. You know, late 30s. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
That's
I was
not
still
too bad.
young and running the streets and wilding still.
Got you.
Uh,
Got you.
but now I'm more calm and married and chilling. Learned all life lessons of what to do. And
Mm-hmm.
what to do. So I'm excited. I'm excited.
Excited and nervous at the same time. I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, you've done great. I'm sure you'll be great. Especially, wisdom comes with age. You know what I
Right.
mean?
There's no handbook for this, but at least I got some cheat sheets. I got some cheat
Facts.
notes.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Facts. But like I was be telling Cass, I always feel like if I had a kid like younger,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been like really into it. My thing would have my thought process would have been, oh, I gotta get a job to raise this kid, so I could feed this kid. At this
Right.
age, I'm like, I get to, mold somebody's life, So it's just kind of like a different thought process of
Whole different process.
thinking, yeah, and having this kid, and at this age, are you cooler, But the thing is, man, like my son is 6, and the unlimited energy is bananas. That's why I try to make sure I try to eat right and work out. I'm just not eat right. I try to be conscious of what I eat
Right.
and work out so I can somewhat keep up.
Listen,
But
man,
even
take this nap.
still,
My secret. That's my trick
just a
to it
secret,
all.
take the nap.
Cause my wife is young. My wife is 35. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
She's
nice.
young,
Okay.
so but she's still gonna go and be all over the place. So you take those naps.
Ah, there you go, y'all. That's the secret. Take a nap. I love to, but it's like as soon as you lay down, the dude be like, "Daddy, you sleeping?" Yo, we woke up one morning and it was crazy because I took her to some like throwback concert. It was fire too. It was like Valentine's Day concert at in Brooklyn. And so we've been drinking, we get home late. The next day, this dude, I think he was like 3 or something at the time. The next day, he knocking on, he not even knocking on, the door's wide open, but he gets out his bed. He got his basketball like this, like, Daddy, you wanna play basketball? I'm like, yo, I don't even got one eye open yet. And he talking about playing basketball. Like, what time is it?
Oh my goodness, man. Yeah, when you're older, you gotta have that reserve energy
Yeah,
going.
yeah, yeah. I gotta find it from somewhere. You just gotta find different entertainment where you can entertain them by sitting down.
Exactly.
take a
A lot,
take a
a lot of coloring and a lot of reading.
word. Even if you could just throw the football and then like when he throw it back, if he missed you, be like, yo, go get that. So I'll have
Right.
him run and go get it and run back and forth and
Save that energy.
yeah, kill two birds with one stone, try to wear him out, and I ain't gotta do too much. So but yeah, man, it's up to you. You just gotta get ready.
Gotta
You got a
get right.
week.
We all prepared, I think. And again, I've been doing the same thing. Prepping for this, like you prep for everything, man. Trying to eat right, reserve your energy, and just be there for the wifey.
No doubt. How's
Which
she
is
feeling?
Yeah, she's good. She's ready. She's ready to push this thing out.
Okay.
She's excited. It's her first child. She's been a great stepmom to my son, my oldest son. He loves her and she loves him.
Nice. That's
So
important.
it's been really a good transition.
Great, great. That's great to hear. Damn, coming soon.
Coming soon.
Wow. I don't know. It was like this soon. Like time flies. I mean, maybe for me because I'm not there. But
This is it though. This is it. Like, you know
you
what I
done?
mean? 27, we ain't doing another one. This is it.
Party done?
Yeah, party done. I do what I
Uh,
gotta do, you know, get the whatever surgeries is necessary, but this is it. Last
nah, come on, Jay. At least one more. You're a great looking dude. I mean, no, I'm kidding. I ain't trying to gas you because yo, I only got one, and I call him Mr. One and Done.
yeah, one and done, man.
Yeah, yeah, we good. We got him, and we have her two nephews, so it's three. So we're done. We got
Yeah,
our hands
that's
full.
good.
Yeah,
Yo,
but
that's good.
yeah, man, it's all love. But so let me ask you, do you besides your step pops, do you have any male mentors?
You know, I do. I have a lot of great colleagues, man. I'm thankful for the frat. I have a lot of older brothers that always provided guidance, always had an open ear. And here in Georgia, I have some great frat brothers that are political figures or you know heads
Okay,
of churches and things like that. So when I do need some guidance from peers, man, I have them there. But you know, I still have my stepdad in my life. He's still my biggest, you know, mentor to this day. Probably will be till he's gone. So all those lessons
right.
I learned from him, I funnel that through my children,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope that they continue to do the same thing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
And what I was gonna ask you, went blank, my fault. You know how it is when you hit that age.
Yeah.
So tell me one thing your pops taught you that you never forget.
Like my real dad.
Step pops.
All right, so my real dad, yo, he taught me how to dress. He taught me about swag. Like
Okay,
he was the first person I saw that had like every color Converse. He had like all the colors and the
that was
socks
my
to match.
father.
Like, he was a fly dude. So he's still a fly old guy. So I get a lot of my style from him.
Okay.
Yeah, and so my stepdad, the biggest thing that I learned from him, especially in relationships, is do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? So it's a constant battle,
That's a
um,
bar.
right? That's a bar right there, man. He's like, yo, Jay, do you really want to argue just to be right, you know, or do you want to be happy? So that really helped me, especially with my ex. That really helped me because you know you want to
You're
prove to
right.
them that you're a good dad, and sometimes
Mm-hmm.
they are wrong, and you are actually right in the right as a dad, you know. And you fight, but at the end, like I said, you want to be happy or you want to be right.
That's a
Yeah, man.
bar.
Use that in your relationship, brother. I'm telling you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I guess I do it, but never just said it because I know, yeah, for real. It's like, yeah, it is what you said. Because I'm like, yo, this is not really even that important to me
That's
to
what I'm saying.
be
To
giving
be
off
fight.
all this energy.
Yep. So that's the biggest lesson I learned from him. How do you know? I'm a politician in this relationship.
So, and with your son, what is the biggest thing you've learned as far as being a parent? What has it taught you about yourself?
That you know, I have really high expectations. Um, and sometimes I feel like it's a little too much for my oldest son. You know, you want them to go to college and you want them to do the right thing and
True.
stay away from drugs. And like you want all these things, um, but just realizing that they have their own journey.
Mm-hmm.
We can't protect them. I mean, look at you and I. We were wilding out on ski trips and parties and all, you know, living very recklessly. Where life could have took a left and it could have been way different for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we had to have our own journey, even though we knew right from wrong. We
Mm-hmm.
still chose wrong. So I try to give them that grace, and now we just talk about consequences. Like you
Yeah.
do this, and you know this is the consequence, and I'm just here to try to get you through it instead of putting so much pressure on them as a young man. Because I don't think these kids can really handle as much pressure as we could.
No.
Um, yeah, it's definitely a different mentality that they have, and a different capacity for stress and how they process things. So I just give them a lot of grace. and try not to be too hard on them with my expectations.
Yeah, no, that's good because like you said, they definitely not built like we were, and at the same time, every generation is they got some shit. I
Really, they
think
got every generation got a hurdle, right?
yeah, like I mean, even though my son is 6, and yours is 16, 17, like I think our time is pretty much the hardest because of
Yeah,
social media.
right.
I think of any generation because this is something like every generation is like all right, the generation before I was like oh this rap music or whatever it is. And
True.
this generation, the social media is like we can't, like our parents could shield us from a lot, but as long
Mm,
as they got a cell phone, we can only shield them but from so much.
that's what I'm saying.
And then it can easily be reached. So I think this is definitely harder because we have to teach ourselves to remind ourselves, like check their phones, just look over their shoulder on the computer. And even
Right.
still, they still got their ways of texting or whatever, and they don't want them being
Exactly.
bullied
They
or
got burner
yeah,
account.
some. Yeah, exactly. It's always something, man. You gotta be on top of things, boy. Crazy guy. I hear like
Yeah.
what's that movie with Will Smith with not Eagle Eye, I forgot, but when the big brother's watching him.
Right.
My bad. You was in the service. Never mind. I don't want to mention nothing like that. I want no problem. I don't want
They
you in
still
trouble.
watch.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. They might be. That joint might be tapped still. They,
You know what I'm saying?
they keep it quiet. I ain't gonna hold you. But I got one more question for you. So
Sir.
tell me, who's your favorite TV dad?
Man,
It don't have to
it's
be just one. Just shoot out
yeah, no,
your
it's
favorites.
controversial. It's controversial, I guess, but it's still gotta be Bill Cosby, man.
Cliff Huxtable, bet.
Yep, he showed me how to add humor in your relationship, how to deal with the problems that kids are having.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I've never really seen him yelling at the kids, even though they
Yeah,
was messing up. He always found a way to talk through it. So
yeah,
those lessons really stuck with me, man. So yeah,
yeah. No, nah, you good. Because I always say Bill Cosby, Cliff Huxtable, two different people.
yeah, yeah. You got to
But
differentiate.
yeah, every time I ask, I want to say the top. I would say top three people is always Bill Cosby, Uncle Phil, and James Evans. That's the
There you
top three I
go.
always get.
Yeah, man. Those are the three top dads. If you could incorporate all their characteristics into one dad, you got it.
Exactly. You got it all figured out, right?
Uh,
Nah, yo, but I appreciate you getting on with me, man. That's it. I
Yo,
was, yeah,
fantastic, man.
man. Thank you. I
Listen,
just wanted to give you your flowers. Like I said, I just try to bring my brothers, my people on.
right.
But just for folks to know, I know a lot of great dads and good brothers, and it is kind of coincidence that the majority of the ones I know are Sigmas.
Hey, it must be a thing.
It must be a thing.
Must
But nah, I thank you for tuning in and just rocking with me and sitting down with me, because
Yeah,
you got
listen,
one on the way. You could have jumped up and be like, yo, L, gotta go now.
right there. But listen. You keep doing your thing, man. God's giving you a purpose. He put this in your heart. You're growing it from the ground up, and it's a dope platform, man. Keep it going. I'm gonna definitely spread the word. So keep it
Appreciate it.
going. Yep.
Appreciate it. Last thing, is there anybody you would suggest I reach out to bring them on here?
Oh man, there's so many great
Somebody
dads.
anybody you admire? Or you can hit me in the
Yeah, I'll hit
messenger.
you on the You know what? I'm gonna hit you with somebody that's a great brother, a great dad, but faces a lot of difficulties. Um,
Okay.
you might get a different perspective of maybe things that are not going so well. You know,
Yeah.
uh, uh, you
Okay.
know, our situations are going well, but find somebody who's having some
Going
rough
through.
patches. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. I just want the authenticity too. Like keep it
Absolutely.
a buck, because I mean I tell everybody like I enjoy being a father. I love my son to death. I ain't the best dad, but I love my son to death, and I'm gonna do what I can. For real.
Word.
I think I'm good. I ain't great. I think I'm good though.
You gotta get you something good. That's all you need, man.
That's on me, right? Yeah. Okay. I'm here. I'm figuring it out. I'm trying to with him. Nah, yo, frat, yo, have a good night. Have a good weekend. I appreciate you.
All right. Talk to you soon, bro.
All right, be good. Later.
All right. Peace.
I just have to say, my kids are the best thing that happened to me. Yeah, yeah. And whenever I'm sad, they can always cheer me up.
I love you,
Hey wolves, could you lend me your ears? I'd like to open up. My therapist ain't here. I've been a dad since I was 21. I've been blessed with 3 beautiful daughters and I got no sons. When I was young, I wondered how come, but I know now. Toxic masculinity would have been passed down. Real men don't cry unless someone has died. Pick your head up, hold your tears in with pride. Hashtag girl dad, so glad when I'm sad. You all could cheer me up. I always will have your backs. Leah, Jade and Lola, no one would come before you. You all are getting older. That's 3 different personas, and I love daddy daughter day. Each one of y'all get a date with me individually. My boo berry, Jay, Star and Juicy. We could always play video games or watch a scary movie. Hey, I just have to say, my kids are the best thing that happened to me. Yeah, yeah. And whenever I'm sad, they can always cheer me up. I love being a dad. Hey, I just have to say, my kids are the best thing that happened to me. Yeah, yeah. And whenever I'm sad, they can always cheer me up. I love being a dad.
They can't never stop the party, they can stop the people. Way too high, way too high. I'm high off the people.